Sports Trust acts as an implementation partner to its trustees, stakeholders and corporate donors. It distributes sporting equipment, kit and installs sports facilities in rural or historically disadvantaged communities in South Africa across all sporting codes for both abled and disabled sports. The 2016 EBL Pre-Primary Athletics event, which focuses on athletics at foundation phase level, recently took place at the Del Josephat Stadium in Paarl.
The late E.B. Lawrence, which is my wife, started this initiative in 2006, and unfortunately she passed away the same year. And then me and the children and the family started with the project, went on with the project, and what you see now is a result of it. She has been in athletics for a very long time, and you know, when the uneven things happened in the communities, then she started to try and have children busy in sport, and so she started with the youngest of the age grouping, the entry levels of sport, and this is the initiative, you know, to combat the drug abuse and uneven society issues.
The event has been running for 10 years now. In the beginning, we didn't generate much funds, so we didn't nominate any schools. But in the last 6 years, we've grown so much that each year we nominate a school, and the proceeds of the event goes to a different school every year. We started out by donating 5,000 Rand, and last year the proceeds was 12,000 Rand. So the event has been growing from year to year. We are very excited. We love all these small children, and we see a bright future for all of them.
2010, the Sport Trust came on board, and they sponsored us 4 kids. IAAF athletic kids, which you have seen the exhibition thereof. We use it when schools want to, you know, to prepare their athletes for competition and to develop. Then those bags, the 4 bags, is being used. They borrow it and obviously return it with everything inside. The value of each of the bags was 35,000 Rand. So you add it up, you come to 150,000 Rand that was donated by the Sport Trust. And we are very appreciate towards that.
This project gives kids between the ages of 6 and 9 the opportunity to develop their sporting skills at an early age.
The reason why we are here today is to see that the ECD schools in the Drakensberg municipality enjoy themselves, and I think it's one of the greatest events, if in the Western Cape, if not in South Africa, where we have all these youngsters participating amongst each other. And I think it's a great event, especially for the sake, if you know what the circumstances of many of these youngsters are. And for example, that we have these youngsters coming from impoverished families. Many of those can't afford actually to put bread on the table. But tonight we can see we took some of these kids out of the problem areas, and especially with the youth not on the right track. And being together with them here is especially empowering them to a great future, because we don't know how many of them who are participating here today will be on the tracks, on the international tracks in many years.
So what we're seeing over here in 10, 15 years from now, these very youngsters will be competing to represent South Africa at the Olympic Games as well. So for us it's very important to get these youngsters involved as early as possible in getting them focused. And here, very much so, Sports Trust has been playing a very important role in funding this program, because of course you need money to host an event as big as this one. And this is at the moment one of the biggest events that I know of in South Africa, which we are very proud of that are taking place.
Hosted annually without fail, this event also serves as a means of creating social cohesion in the Boland community.
this is an annual event, and I think this is a great opportunity for all the schools to participate. It is for all the children to interact with each other, not the children, but also the teachers. As you can see, the parents, the teachers, the children, they are all so happy and they are enjoying themselves, and this is very important for our society, that children should enjoy themselves.
We've been practicing almost every day, and it was nice and it was a lot of fun. And the learners was a bit tired sometimes, but they enjoyed it.
This is a way for teachers to motivate and discipline children that you don't need to go the way of crime and drugs and alcoholism. There is other ways, and with athletics, it's definitely a way to make it to the top.
This initiative was established to address the interest gap at the entry levels of athletics and has seen more than 20 schools participating annually.
The idea behind the program was that my mom she wanted something for the small children. She had the big idea that these small children can make something big happen. And as we can see today, there are hundreds of people here. They are all excited with us about the program. The program was started to give little children the opportunity to, number one, learn and develop athletic skills, to keep them healthy, and also to keep them away from crime, because in the last few years, crime has just escalated.
The program is very important in the sense that it establish certain basic skills, life skills with our youngsters as young as 5, 6 years old, which we are seeing over here. We need to teach them how to focus, how to be project driven, how to be effective in life, to work towards success very early in their life. That way, in our society, where we have lots of challenges, we tend to drive us sideways. This particular project is very effective in the sense to establish those life skills of positive thinking, of friendliness, of healthy living styles. These are the kind of life skills we would like to establish with the youngsters as early as possible with projects like this.
A kid in sport is a kid out of court. And with the amount of crime in our areas, which is getting much bigger and bigger, we have to prevent and keep the kids busy as we do now. If this kind of events could take place on an annual basis, or actually on a weekly basis, it will be great to have our kids on the right track. So it's very important that we do these kind of things. And from the municipality and the provincial government, we are busy with the mod centers, and there's a couple of mod centers which is running here in Drakensberg as well as in the surrounding areas. So from the time frame between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, when many of our parents is still at work, these children, there's no paternity over these children. So what we do in the mod centers is to keep those children busy and keep them active through sport as well as the education purposes. So there is a lot of positive things regarding this kind of events here in Drakensberg.
Today I can tell you that there are lots of parents and children here. So today the crime is very less. There's so little crime out there today because everybody is here and enjoying themselves. But I think when we can help our children by giving them more programs so that they can participate not in athletics but also in rugby or netball or whatever the case may be, so that they can be kept busy.
Since Miss Lawrence's passing, this initiative has been kept afloat by family members who've continued to work hard to keep it sustainable.
We, the Lawrence family, Peter Lawrence and all the children would like to take the opportunity to thank everybody involved with this event, the Boland Athletics. We'd like to thank our Heavenly Father for the beautiful day that He's given to us. As you can see, we've got wonderful weather. The children are enjoying themselves. We'd like to thank Supersport for the opportunity and for the coverage of this event. Also all the supporters, the teachers, the children, thank you very much.
This program has been coming a few years now, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, Sport Trust has played a very important role in making this event taking place. But it grew from a very small event, very few schools, to more than 20 schools, one of the largest events in South Africa at the moment, more than 1,000 athletes running here. These very youngsters, we're going to see in 10 years from now representing South Africa on the international forum.
On behalf of our executive mayor and the mayoral committee, I wish to thank the initiative taken by Mr. Peter Lawrence and his team and all the schools participating here today for making this event a great event and actually changing the lives of the youngsters, because we don't know how many of them will be in the world stage in the future. So I thank you for staging this event here with us.
We trust that this initiative will contribute towards excellent athletic performances, which will ultimately put Boland above the rest. The Sports Trust acts as an implementation partner to its trustees, stakeholders and corporate donors. It distributes sporting equipment, kit and installs sports facilities in rural or historically disadvantaged communities in South Africa across all sporting codes for both abled and disabled sports.